Today I got a shock. 7/27/2018. Checked my bank account this morning to see if my Social Security deposit had been made during the night, and it had, but it was a couple $100 short what it should have been. What in the world is going on? So I called Social Security office when they opened up. They told me that I needed to call the IRS, something about a levy or something. Well, make a long story short, after about 2 hours on the phone with the IRS, I guess in 2016, according to them, and you can't argue with the IRS, they said there was a September, there was a quarter payment of taxes that were due that was never paid. That's September of 2016, mind you. I remember going in 2017, in February I guess it was, and having our taxes done. Maybe it was March. She always brought the figures with her, the income, deductions, and all that are all made out. And I pulled out my tax return, looked at it, and there it said a federal tax, self-employment tax. According to her figures. Well, I'm talking to the IRS. They're looking at that, thinking, well, maybe they'll reverse the number or something on the Social Security number. They checked. They couldn't find, looked for mirror image, all kinds of stuff. Nope, we owe the money and penalties and everything else. Being that my wife won't talk to me, and I haven't been able to talk to her, and she refuses to talk to me. Had no communications from her or with her since last October of 2017, when she set me up and had me put out. Been so many things that I needed to deal with. I've been trying to keep. I kept the websites up that she had let go down. Tried to maintain them. Couldn't do it anymore. I don't have the internet capabilities to do what needs to be done, so I don't know. I don't want to believe she didn't pay the taxes on purpose, or couldn't pay the taxes and wouldn't tell me. I prefer to believe that maybe she just forgot it. But in 2017, okay, it appears that she hasn't paid the taxes then either. Not only on the income on the business, but on property taxes. I don't know. She's obviously got some problems. I've always told her, if you got a problem, bring it to me. We'll look at it. Did that once before. We had some credit cards that got out of control. Sat down with her. She'd been struggling trying to pay them. Sat down with her, looked at them, added them up. And oh my God, we had like 357% interest on a number of different credit cards that, when they were totaled up. I said, we'll never be able to pay this off. So I went down to the bank, got a jumbo loan for 50 grand. Paid off all the credit cards. Did use some of it to do some repairs on the house and the business, and we paid that off in 5-6 years. No problem. All you had to do is communicate with me. She just doesn't seem to be doing that. So there's whatever the mental or emotional problem she's got, which probably preceded the physical health problems that had rumors that she has. I don't know. I haven't got nothing confirmed. But it does seem to have preceded the physical ailments, health issues. I've heard she's terminal. I've heard this. I've heard that from unreliable sources, and usually it is something that has slipped out and nobody wants to talk about it any further. I've been kept in the dark. Don't know what's going on. I had hopes that might be able to salvage the business once the divorce was finalized. I was her friend for 5 years. If you want to be married, fine. I'll be your friend. Maybe you'll listen to a friend where you wouldn't listen to your husband. But there's the problem. I don't know what's going on with her. She's got emotional, mental, and physical health issues. And I was not aware of them. And now I've been made aware of this morning. Needless to say, I don't get much Social Security as it is. And I'm not able to work in the business. I mean, I'm disabled per se, incapacitated to a degree, but I'm better now than what I was. I would venture to say I'd be able to work a few hours a day, several hours a day. I don't know. She wants me disabled. That's what she did to her ex-husband. She is basically an enabler. She enables those who she can enable. She'll take a splinter in the finger and turn it into an amputation of the hand. I don't know. I don't know nothing. I know this. If those taxes were paid, I could never find out because she won't talk to me. I suggested a mediator to the police officer. She said she didn't want to talk to me. She didn't have any communications with me at all. I'm left in the dark to speculate. It's not hard to speculate when you see that taxes haven't been paid on the business and home property, when you don't know if the taxes have been paid on the business income, when you don't know nothing, sitting in the dark. But now I'm short on Social Security, so I don't know how long I'll be able to keep a roof over my head. Church is providing some food once every third week of the month. I get some food from the church. I won't starve, but now I'm being cut on my Social Security. I got insurance coming up on the vehicle. I don't know if I'll be able to maintain that. I was just starting to look forward to things. I figured, okay, she wants a divorce. That's what I'd heard from my defense attorney months and months and months ago. Matter of fact, it was from my defense attorney that I heard that she had colon cancer and part of her colon removed, which I guess I was not supposed to be told. You can't be married to somebody for 37 years and get to know them. I mean, we worked every day together. We lived together, slept together, ate together, bathed together practically. I mean, it wasn't too much we didn't do together. We both had our own little individual things we did, separate from one another. She had a creative side that she did things for the business, making bows and so forth. And I had the construction side where I'd go in and do repairs and so forth on things in the business and the house. So it's not like we couldn't get away from each other. I don't know. Something went wrong. I don't like to say things that are negative about my wife. I mean, it's like you're going to laugh and criticize and make fun of a person who can't walk because they're disabled. Well, when a person's got an emotional or mental disorder, illness, disability, you don't make fun of them by picking on them and blasting them and so forth. You try to help them, and that's what I've tried to do with her for 37 years. But as she's gotten older, as health issues for both of us began to become a factor in our lives, she seemed to get worse. So I don't know what to do now. I'm going to have to eat light. All she had to do was communicate with me. But I've also heard a bit of a rumor that, and this is probably a laughable thing because she told me she'd never had anything to do with ever have anything to do with another man in her life. But I've heard a little mouse say that she's had, well, let's put it the way I was told that I had been replaced more than once since it started. So I guess that means she's had a few boyfriends. I don't know. She's a user. I mean, bottom line is she's a narcissist, Jezebel. She's got a Jezebel spirit, and she's got a narcissistic personality disorder. Person, place, or thing gets attention and takes it away from her. She's going to eliminate the person, the place, or the thing. I mean, I've studied this whole narcissistic Jezebel thing from the spiritual side and the secular side now for going on 10 months. I had no idea that was her problem. I just thought she was a spoiled kid growing up, and as an adult woman she just needed to have attention, and I gave her that attention and saw to it that the business would get her more attention. But at some point the business started getting more attention, I think, than her. At some point, because of the things I was doing, I started getting more attention than her, and she could not have that. She could not have that. She didn't even like it when we had employees, and she wouldn't let the employees communicate with the customers. She wanted the attention all on herself. Oh, before I became before I became disabled to the point where I couldn't hardly work for this last year before this all happened, I was working and taking care of much of the business. She wasn't doing too well, so I covered for her. I've always been in the background anyhow. She said, well, you just let me take in the dogs and I'll give them back to the customers, and if you'll bathe them, clip them, and do whatever you need to do under my guidance, because I know how they want them, we probably can get away with this and people won't even know that I'm not actually grooming the dogs. I think some suspected something, but and she was kind to me that year. She said, well, this year why don't you just take the whole income for yourself, add a little bit more to your Social Security by taking the whole income. I said, well, we've never done that before. We've always split. Even when I wasn't working, we still split. You know, you don't have to do that. And she's, no. So I took the full income for 2016. Now I'm finding out she didn't pay the taxes. I mean, she always handled that stuff and did very well on it for 37 years with a little help from me from time to time, a spot check, and sometimes she got a little confused and we straightened it out. Not a problem. But this last couple of years it's gotten bad. So I don't know what she did with the money. I know we were making money. Don't know what she did with the money. Or she just forgot to pay it and used the money for something else. Or I mean, I've been kept in the dark because of my health issues, disability, for about a year and maybe 4 months. I wasn't really that involved that much at that point. Since I've gotten out of that environment, which is very toxic in more ways than one, I've been feeling a little bit better, but I wouldn't be able to put in an 8-hour day. I couldn't work full time. I got a bad back, that's a deteriorating spine, blown out disc in the lower part of my back, so I thought about getting surgery done on it. The doctor said, no, we don't want to, that can make things worse, and you've got a deteriorating spine. And I said, well, what am I going to do? He said, you're just going to have to take it easy. I said, well, I've been taking it easy for 20 years. I mean, I've had this back problem for 20 years. He said, well, it's gotten worse now that you've gotten older. I said, well, things have gotten worse for the wife, too, and she's gotten older. I says, but hey, you know, you don't understand. I'm a persistent person. I can stay in there, hang in there. I says, I'd rather spend 4 hours working on grooming dogs for the money that I can make than to spend 8 hours standing on a damn convenience store making minimum wage. You know, it just don't make sense. I don't know. All my logic, all my reasoning has basically been being ignored by her now for a number of years. She would have it her way, no matter how destructive that way would be. But I've got to say this, the Lord has sure been working in marvelous ways for somebody who's being kept in the dark. I mean, nobody will tell me anything. What I do know is, I won't say by nook and crook, because I'm not a crook, I'm not a nook, but you know, you can't breathe today without something ending up on the internet somewhere, somehow. So I picked some morsels up from the internet that has led me to believe, think certain things. Don't know whether they're true or not. I wouldn't want to stake my life on them. But I don't know what happened to her. And if she got a boyfriend, she's love bombing him like narcissists do, and they get a new supply. Or if he's gotten a hold of her mind and he's using her instead of her using him, that'd be a switch, because she used me for 37 years. Well, not quite 37, 35. Last couple of years, I think that's what caused the problem. I refused to be abused. I refused to be used. I refused to be disrespected. And that didn't go over well with pathological narcissists. So anyhow, here I sit. I got a roof over my head. I got me a little apartment. I could be living in the dorm and wouldn't even be in the house with her. A dorm that's paid for. I wouldn't be having to pay anything except some utilities. And I would be there to help out in the business. I could be training somebody to run the business if she couldn't work. And that's what I was looking to do with people, is train somebody to take my place. But every time I got an employee, she didn't like them. I had more than one employee come to me and say, I don't think your wife wants me here. And they'd end up quitting. And it didn't bother her that they quit. Matter of fact, she said one time, you know, it's so much nicer and less stressful around here when we don't have anybody working here. I said, what do you mean? Well, I like working alone, not having anybody here. I said, well, the whole purpose of owning a business is to put other people to work for you, to make the money and do the work so that you don't have to. She said, well, I don't want anybody grooming my dogs. I said, well, they wouldn't be grooming your dogs. They'd be building more dogs. New clients come in every day. She didn't want to share the business with anybody. And at some point, I began to realize she didn't want to share it with me. It's terrible, you know. I mean, it's not her fault. You can't blame a person. You can't blame a person who's mentally ill any more than you can blame a person who can't walk, because they won't get up and go get you something when you ask them to. You can't get mad at them. They can't walk, you know. And if they're crawling and you tell them to hurry up when you know they're incapacitated, that's just silly. So I can't really get mad at her because she's got problems. I'm mad at some of the things she did and didn't do, yeah. If she would have just communicated with me, the problems could have been solved. But see, I think she wanted to hide her problem, health-wise, her health problem. And I don't know if she had a boyfriend or not. I don't know. I don't want to blame it on somebody else. If I couldn't influence her and control her where she needed to be controlled for her own good, I don't think anybody else could have either. So I don't really want to believe there's a boyfriend or blame it on a boyfriend. I'm not going to do that. It's a health, emotional, mental problem that unfortunately in our business, the kind of business we have, sole proprietorship, where you basically work alone, a lot of people in our business are alcoholics, and they can get away with it because they don't have to answer to anybody. They're druggers. They can get away with that because they don't have to answer. All they got to do is be sober enough to bring the dog in or take the dog out. And a lot of them will hire somebody, a bather or somebody, to do that for them, and the pet owner very rarely sees them incapacitated. So I don't know. I know the business too well, and she knows I know the business too well, and she knows I know her too well. That's why she's told neighbors and friends and everybody else not to talk to me. I don't want him knowing anything that's going on. Is that the kind of control a narcissist can have over other people? I mean, married 37 years, together 37 years, building a business, neighbors knowing the work that I've done. I can't fathom that they would be that easily controlled by her. But then I look at me. My God, she started controlling me 37 years ago, and eventually she had total control of me. She got what she wanted when she wanted it, as soon as I could get it for her. She had her way. I mean, the last 5-7 years, I rarely ever got to watch TV unless I wanted to watch the reality shows she wanted to watch. And if it wasn't on during the evening, she taped it during the day so that she could watch it in the evening. So I rarely got to watch TV. And I don't know. I can find fault with myself for not seeing the things that I now can see. It was red flags saying there's a problem, there's a problem. Well, in October I think I'd had enough. I said I wasn't going to take it anymore, and that's when I said we're going for help. We're going to go get some therapy, some counseling for our marriage, whatever we need to do, but something's wrong. We need your help. She set me up, pressed my buttons, got me arrested, protective order put on me for 7 months, 8 months, no communication whatsoever. I mean, I was so disabled I didn't think I was going to live the weekend. I ended up in the hospital for 3 weeks. Yeah, and I run a risk of people making judgments when I say this. I committed myself voluntarily to a psychiatric facility for a couple of weeks because I figured I wanted to be in a position where I could get some help with counseling dealing with what was going on with my relationship. Some people felt that I was doing that, or needed to do that, because I was looking to take my life or something. Oh, I know I felt like I was dying, but I've never thought about taking my life. Like I say, she's put that out there to people to believe that. It was her ex-husband that she always told me had a death wish. Now I'm beginning to wonder if he had a death wish at all. Maybe it's her that had the death wish. I don't have a death wish. I got too many reasons to be here. Too much to look forward to. No matter how bad things may look today, I know there's always a tomorrow. But she's the one that has a death wish, or preoccupied with death. She said she'd go out and check on the bird room to see if anybody was dead. She said she'd look in her fish tanks to see who had died. I said, my God, that's why you go out to check on the birds and look in the fish tanks? She said, yeah. I said, you don't do it just for the joy of it? And she said, no, I go out to see who might have died during the night. Oh, my Lord. I don't know. It's sad. It's sad. I've shed enough tears in the last 8 months, knowing in my inner self that there's something very wrong that I wasn't able to do anything about. And turned it all over to God because there was nothing more I could do but turn it over to God, which is what I've done. I've turned it all over to God. And thank God the Holy Spirit has descended on me, been with me to give me comfort, has helped me acquire a certain word of knowledge from time to time about questions that I didn't even know I had. Gave me the gift of discernment also, which is a very disturbing gift. A gift of discernment, it's not that comfortable when you can discern the spirit of a situation or people. And I think that was the hardest thing I had to deal with, was when I got the gift of discernment from the Holy Spirit. I could see that there was a demonic spirits that were and have been influencing her for a long time. Now, she's not aware of that, I don't think. I wasn't. And then Holy Spirit, wow. I won't say I was frightened by it. I was very disappointed, but it explained a lot of things of to me when I used to say to her, I'll see you in the light before we'd go to sleep. No response. Never even a question. What do you mean by see in the light? Never a question. And times I would say to her, I said, well, praise God, I'd say, who do you serve? She'd say nothing. I'd say, who do you serve? She'd say nothing. One time she interrupted me. She said, will you quit asking me that? And what is that all about anyhow? Well, who do you serve? And I said, well, I serve you. I serve the business. I serve Jesus Christ, the Lord. And she just sort of gave me a glaze and looked away and went on about her business. Never would answer when I'd say, who do you serve? Demonic spirits wouldn't allow her to answer. I didn't used to believe that demon spirits could have an influence on a person, but I'm thoroughly convinced of it now since I've gotten the gift of discernment. I can look back at 37 years of our relationship and see where the demonic spirits were influencing her, the situations where they were present, having an influence over her and trying to influence me. I can see it like the back of my hand. I mean, really, it's just unbelievable. But I couldn't see it at the time. I probably sensed it, but I couldn't see it. So anyhow, now I'm struggling with, I've been struggling with finances since I got put out. I mean, it's senseless. I mean, you got a whole furnished mobile home sitting behind the shop up there in Burt that I could be living in. It's paid for. I could have been using my Social Security to be paying taxes on the property instead of paying rent of $600 a month to somebody who really doesn't care about this property. I just don't understand it. Well, I do. When you're mentally ill, I mean, it's like saying, well, I don't understand why he can't walk. Well, he has got legs. He's crippled. He's got no legs. He can't walk. Well, I just don't understand why she's emotionally and mentally ill. She cannot comprehend. She cannot discern what she's doing. And the spirit of disobedience was very prevalent in her. It's sad. And if devil's using her to attack me, well, you got news for you, Satan. You done lost this battle a long time ago. Jesus claimed my spirit, my soul. My victory has been there since God knows when. You can't win with me. Because number one, I'm not going to mock the Lord like you tried to get the Son of God to do when you tempted him in the desert. But hey, the Lord promised me 70 plus 10. I got my 70 years. And then said I could have more if I remained strong. Well, any time that I get weak or you weaken me or undermine me or whatever, I've still had more. You didn't take nothing away from me except what the Lord will allow to happen. Just like he allowed you to use her to set me up to get me cast out. But you don't realize that he allowed you to get her to set me up so that I could be removed from that toxic situation. The Lord took me out of there. You didn't, Satan. She didn't put me out. The law took me out, but only because God allowed that to be so, and I believe that with all my mind, body, and soul, because the Lord knew I couldn't last much longer in that environment. So he defeated you. You were not able to kill me. I was feeling like I was ready to die, though. Well, I've been doing this about 28 minutes. Anyhow, I found out this morning another Grinch in the oatmeal, or fly in the oatmeal, so to speak. My Social Security is had a levy put against it because the taxes did not get paid that she led me to believe were paid that were not. I don't know what's happened in 2017 if the taxes have been paid then, but that's why I'm pursuing, unfortunately, a divorce. I've been told that it's the best thing to do to protect myself legally, financially, and that the sooner I do it, I should have done it some time ago, but I'm told that I need to do that for my own financial security. So I've always said to her, I said, why do you do the destructive thing and ignore the constructive things that I ask of you and request that you do? And she just looked through me. So she has totally destroyed herself, totally destroyed the business, totally destroyed everything that I tried to accomplish and work for her benefit. They used to say, you're going to outlive me probably 20 years, so everything I do now, it's not for me, it's for you. But she's totally destroyed it all. And the thing is the demonic spirits are killing her. And I don't think she realizes that. They've always tried to get to her when there was just about the time there was going to be a breakthrough in her life. The demonic spirits made her sick, made her very sick. And that's before I knew her. She'd been sick several times since I've been with her. And it was usually about the time we were going to make a breakthrough in the business or in our relationship or whatever. And then bam, demonic spirits step in there and make her sick almost to the point of the deathbed. All I can say is my faith has been strengthened and renewed and made stronger than I thought it could ever possibly be, seeing how the Lord is working this, even using my weaknesses to strengthen my faith. The glory is God's. I mean, there's, I'm very disappointed that things didn't work out the way that I had hoped that they would and prayed that they would for her. But the secular world doesn't care about that. They don't deal with the spirit like I do. I mean, I'm probably very lucky to be alive. Thank the Lord. Praise Jesus. Because if the demonic spirits would have had their way, they'd have done me in a long time ago. I put my health and safety in jeopardy a number of times to protect her, to try to get her and her children justice. Children that she abandoned, children that she said her husband at that time would kill if she tried to get custody. I don't believe that now. I believed so much in the earlier years that she told me. And now, from what I'm hearing she's saying about me, it only reinforces the fact that I was believing lies back then, like people are believing the lies right now about me. And he couldn't defend himself with me. And I can't defend myself from those whom she is crucifying me to. It's sad, but hey, it's all in the Lord's hands. But all the faith don't mean a thing if there's no action. So I've been doing what I've got to do. I'm taking action to try to keep that, I don't know. Depressed? Sure, I'm depressed, of course. But I'm still functioning. Not having any terrible thoughts, evil thoughts, bad thoughts, destructive thoughts. I keep trying to figure out a better way to solve the next problem or what's going on, knowing that I can't depend on her to be a part of the solution because she's the problem. It's sad. Now it's been 33 minutes. I've talked long enough on here. I don't know if I'll post this one or just file it away or delete it like I have all the others. It's been good therapy for me. Yeah. We'll see what tomorrow brings. And then the next day, and the next day, and the next day. know if she had Alzheimer's, the whole thing would be being treated differently. There would be an understanding of what I'm going through in trying to care for my Alzheimer wife with dementia, but because it's not Alzheimer's and it's a mental, emotional illness, nobody sees it quite the same way. And that's going on all over the country. People with mental illnesses, emotional disorders, people are making judgments based upon the lies they are telling other people about the one who's trying to get them help. They discredit them. And that's what she's done. She has discredited me, made me into the bad guy, the evil guy, in order to protect herself from being exposed, because nobody wants to listen to me, nobody wants to believe me. And I understand that. I believed her when she told me all about her ex-husband. And now I feel really bad that I didn't, that I believed it so easily. But she's a very convincing person. She seems to know very well that he who controls perception controls the future. So much for that.